Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. As you've all noticed by now, there was some recent drama between two YouTube users, one going by the name of Amanikin and the other by the name of Potholer. It was regarding this false DMCA claims and other such things. Now, one of the users happens to be a Muslim woman, and as a result of this drama, she had received a lot of discriminatory remarks. Now, of course, I don't agree with what Amanikin did, and I don't think she should have filed the DMCA. But at the same time, I don't agree with what bigots have been saying to her, or their constant harassment. Now, Potholer, being the gentleman he is, saw all this and decided to speak out against it. And even though they still have their disagreements, both of them have resolved the issue to a degree. And everything seems okay now. You see, but there is one person who is not satisfied with the way that Potholer handled the situation. I'm talking to you, Thunderfoot. You were not content with the fact that he treated her like a fellow human being. I know that's a very difficult thing for you to grasp, given the fact that you spend more time in mountain ranges and with your toy airplanes and on YouTube. But that label does exist, even for people who don't agree with you. And we all know that you're not making this video simply because she filed a DMCA. We know for a fact that you're making this video, as you stated yourself, because you don't respect her for the simple fact that she wears a scarf on her head. And you did a really good job of freeing her from her oppression when you referred to her as a pretty little thing with a sheet on her head. And you know, one has to pause and wonder how you can say anything about women. How you have any sort of authority to speak on their behalf. I mean, what, your last relationship was with a coke-snorting bisexual who eventually left you for another woman. Damn! Damn! I mean, you couldn't even keep the relationship for more than 2 blog TV sessions. So, Mr. 40-year-old virgin, how can you sit there and say that you disrespect a woman for wearing something on her head because she feels more dignified that way and she wants to follow her beliefs, but for some reason you can respect the druggie just because she might put out? Well, we see where your priorities are, right? But you know what makes this actually really funny, Thunderfoot? Is the fact that you're such a hypocrite. You spend so much time being the crusader of free speech that you don't even seem to understand what free speech is. You see, free speech is not only the right for one to speak, but it's also the right of one not to be harassed by bigots all the time. And you just sent a bunch more over to her channel for no other reason than the fact that you did not like how the Potholer treated her. And you did not like the fact that somehow people were just attacking her and calling her the worst possible things. Because you enjoy the fact that she is being treated like dirt. And don't tell us that you don't endorse what your bigoted subs do to other people. Because if you didn't endorse it, you'd be speaking out against it like Potholer did. But like I said before, unlike him, you don't see people as people. You see them as a cost-benefit analysis. If they don't believe what I believe, therefore they are inferior. No. And this is not about criticism, so please stop. Criticism is different, okay? Criticizing the Quran, criticizing the religion, that's fine. Even go to my channel or a lot of other Muslim channels, you'll see us arguing with other people about what our religion teaches, okay? This is not the issue. You have never been attacked because of criticizing Islam. You've been attacked because you degrade human beings. You degrade them to the point of looking like a borderline sociopath. You have absolutely zero empathy for anybody that doesn't fit within your circle. And you see, Thunderfoot, defaming people is also not part of free speech. See, people have the right to be safe and not to be lied about to the point where it might destroy their reputation or cause some sort of violent action to be brought up against them. For instance, in my case, remember what happened last year? Oh, you should know. Remember when you falsely accused me of being a foreign national, making death threats, and basically being akin to a terrorist? Yeah, I have a right to be protected from that. Especially after the fact that it got so hostile that your subs contacted the FBI so many times that I had to get the Council of American Islamic Relations to contact the FBI on my behalf just to clear my name. They looked over the evidence and apparently I'm okay. But in a country like the United States where it's very possible these days for a Muslim to be sent to Guantanamo Bay without trial and be tortured endlessly for the most minor accusations or, certain affiliations, what you did violated everything that free speech was supposed to be for. Beyond immoral. And then what you did after that was that you accused Coughlin616 of having a personality disorder. See, you don't respect the right of an individual not to be harassed unjustly. But of course you've shown hypocrisy in that as well when, you complained about people putting up fake pictures of you on porn websites. So apparently fake pictures of you on a porn website could get you fired from your job or could ruin your reputation, but you, defaming people and, posting bigoted videos somehow doesn't change that. Okay. Another thing you don't seem to get, Thunderfoot, is not only do people have the right not to be defamed and other such things, but they also have the right to make the rules of speech in their own private domain. This includes businesses, schools, and of course, people's personal property. If they don't like what you say, they can do something about it. For instance, if your university doesn't like what you say, they can reprimand you. A year ago, a teacher was reprimanded for simply complaining about her students on Facebook. Isn't that right, Dr. Phil? I can call you Phil, right? I mean, what other name would you go by? Right, Thunderfoot? The university you work at has certain ethical guidelines that they require their faculty and staff to follow. And with your record, about talking about Muslims as ants and mentioning sleeping giants that can go on genocidal, killing sprees and, provoking Muslims to come kill you so that, the sleeping giant wakes up and goes and kills everybody, which is pretty much borderline insanity. You like to defame people, calling them terrorists and making death threats, or the fact that you like to say that moderate Muslims support extremists, or the fact that you like to say that you can't respect a Muslim woman because she wears a sheet on her head and because she follows Islam. These statements are no different than what Robert Spencer says, or Pamela Geller, or Anders Breivik. With those sort of bigoted opinions, it's no wonder you want to be anonymous. It's not like you're actually afraid that terrorists are going to come after you. I mean, seriously, you're not even that important. You're just a research associate. You're not even listed as a professor. And this is remarkably funny given the fact that about a year ago you were trying to educate Dan Brown about what education means. I mean, what are you educating? What, you trying to teach a rat how to go through a maze after you inject it with some sort of harmful chemical? Or maybe you want to keep anonymous because you realize how insignificant you are. But I have to admit that your last paper on protecting the ecosystem was kind of interesting. I wonder what some of your colleagues would think if they saw these videos. I wonder what they would think if they saw some of the opinions that you have about other people. I wonder what the professors in your department who happen to be Muslim would think about you not believing that their daughters or their wives deserve respect. Or I wonder how they would feel knowing that you think that they support terrorism by simple association. I also wonder what the Muslim Student Association on that campus would believe about a faculty member endorsing these sort of bigoted opinions. I also wonder what the ethical committee in your university would feel about this. I wonder if they would do a cost-benefit analysis. And I know for a fact that you haven't shown them these videos because you know how they would feel. But I'm still curious about it myself. So I decided, in the principle of free speech, the one that you follow, that I would ask them personally, which is why I sent every single one of them your videos, your statements, with your name attached. And this is not my morality being imposed on you. I'm simply being consistent with the university's policies. You took the risk when you went on a public forum, and you know very well what you can and cannot say in the position that you're in. And you can't get angry at me, Thunderfoot. We're both expressing our free speech. Neither of us are censoring the other. You can still talk, I can still talk. I haven't filed a false DMCA. What's there to complain about? I've expressed my opinion, now I'm just waiting to see what they do with it. So I guess the only thing I can say now, Thunderfoot, is Salam.